So they said it couldn't be done. They said the bill was too big, too bold, and too costly to ever pass the House. Well, it just did. By one vote. In the early hours of May 22nd, after an all-night battle on the House floor, President Trump's One Big Beautiful Bill Act made it through, 215 to 214. And now, the battle, it shifts to the Senate. This bill is unlike anything we've seen in years. Massive tax cuts, serious reforms to government programs, a hard reset on border policy, and yes, Democrats are already melting down. The left says it's rushed. They say it's cruel. They say it's dangerous. But the people who voted for Trump, I see something very different. I was going to say we all see something very different. Promises kept. So it's actually in this 1,000-page mega bill. Why did it take an all-nighter to get it across the finish line, and what's coming next? We're going to break it down. So my name's Tom. I'm with the Daily Beltway, publisher of the Illinois Review, and a White House correspondent for the Next News Network. So let's get into what just happened. The House has officially passed President Donald J. Trump's One Big Beautiful Bill Act. It happened after a 22-hour Rules Committee session, a dawn vote that split the chamber 215 to 214. Speaker Mike Johnson faced enormous pressure internally from the Freedom Caucus and externally from the Democrats, but held the line and delivered for Trump. Not a single Democrat voted for it. So let's go ahead and cut over to Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt defending the bill from the White House podium. And she's so awesome. I love everything she does. And she's got so much, I don't even know. Whatever she's got it. And that's what we need.
Last night, Republicans in the House passed the One Big Beautiful Bill Act, the most significant piece of legislation in years. There were a lot of good faith negotiations in the Republican conference leading up to the final passage. But as always, President Trump came in at the end to bring all sides together and get this deal done. This One Big Beautiful Bill will implement President Trump's Make America Great Again agenda by delivering the largest tax cut in American history for middle-class families, the working class, and small businesses. The One Big Beautiful Bill fulfills President Trump's promises of no tax on tips, which was applauded today by the CEO of Uber, no tax on overtime, a Made in America auto tax break, Trump savings accounts for newborn babies, and substantial tax cuts for our amazing seniors.
I want to say the no tax on overtime is like giving everybody thousands of dollars in raises per year. The no tax on tips, I was in the restaurant industry forever, that helps people so much. And look at all the law enforcement and everybody else that they have to work overtime just to make their rent. And, if you make $20 an hour, you're making 30 on overtime, but you're really only making 22 because they tax it at a higher rate. This just does so much for so many people. And it's immediately going to impact. I can't even guess at the impact it's going to have. I'm going to cut back. Sorry.
Social Security benefits. The One Big Beautiful Bill will permanently secure the border by delivering the largest border security investment in history, funding at least 1 million annual removals of illegal aliens to carry out the largest deportation campaign ever, finishing the Trump border wall, and giving pay raises and bonuses for our incredible ICE and Border Patrol agents. The One Big Beautiful Bill protects the Medicaid program and its benefits for the most vulnerable Americans that the program was designed for, by kicking off 1.4 million illegal aliens from receiving benefits and implementing common-sense work requirements for able-bodied Americans.
That's the part Democrats have an issue with, is they're saying it's taking millions of people off of SNAP and welfare and other subsidies. We're going to get to it later in the video, but it's because we're kicking the illegal immigrants who shouldn't even be getting any money in the first place off of it. Democrats, they want to fight for the illegals. They don't want to fight for us, citizens. Back to it.
Get our fiscal house in order by carrying out the largest deficit reduction in nearly 30 years with $1.6 trillion in mandatory savings. Every single Democrat in the House of Representatives who voted against all of these common sense and massively popular policies. The Democrat Party has never been more radical and out of touch with the needs of the American people. The One Big Beautiful Bill is the final missing piece toward ushering the golden age of America. The Senate should pass this as quickly as possible and send it to President Trump's desk for a final signature.
They need to send it over to his desk. So we're going to look at the key provisions. First up, tax relief. The bill makes permanent the 2017 Trump tax cuts, projected to boost take-home pay by over $13,000 per family. Service workers and blue-collar Americans win big with the next tax exemption on tips and overtime pay from 2026 to 2028. There's also a new auto loan deduction up to $10,000 in interest on the vehicle if it's made here in America. It's incredible. Then there's the expanded child tax credit, and seniors get an extra $4,000 deduction if they're over 65. Health savings accounts are getting a major upgrade too. Contribution limits double for a working family, include a $1,000 deduction for fitness and gym expenses. That keys into what Bobby Kennedy's doing. Check out my other video I just put out on Make America Healthy Again agenda. On the social side, the bill introduces the long-awaited Medicaid work requirements starting in 2029. It also ends enhanced ACA subsidies by the end of this year, something that has millions of Democrats furious. The food stamp program is getting what the left calls historic cuts, and one provision is already generating heat: a full ban on Medicaid-funded gender transition therapies, whether for minors or adults. The bill also includes $12 billion in new border funding. That's technology, security infrastructure, and more boots on the ground. It's a win for the Angel families who've been demanding actions for years after losing loved ones to illegal immigrant crime. Now, the price tag. Nonpartisan analysts say this bill could add $3 to $5 trillion to the national debt over a decade. Bond markets already reacted. Treasury yields jumped to 5.09%, and markets, they're a little jittery. Some Republicans, like Senator Ron Johnson, are warning this bill needs to tighten before it hits the Senate floor. And yes, that's where it's headed next. The Senate's GOP leadership is promising what they're calling a beautiful rewrite, especially trimming fat and reworking the SALT deduction expansion. It's all happening under budget reconciliation, so Democrats cannot filibuster it. But the clock, it's ticking. Memorial Day is just days away, a couple days from now. So meanwhile, Democrats are calling this a betrayal. Rep. Jayapal says the SNAP and Medicaid changes target the vulnerable. Critics also claim the end of ACA subsidies will drive premiums through the roof, especially in states like Florida, where 4 million depend on Obamacare. But still, the White House is thrilled. They're calling it the most significant legislation of Trump's second term. Leavitt says that it's a generational win. House Budget Chair Jody Arrington calls it proof Trump is making the economy work for American families. And if you guys got value from this report, like the video, drop a comment. We're here to inform and defend the Republic, and your support helps us do that. Share this with your family, your coworkers, your church, the guy at the gas station. Let's keep America awake and aware. So here's what the bill tells us. It tells us President Trump is serious about shaking up Washington. This isn't just politics. This is about resetting how a republic works for the people who work, no taxes on tips, work requirements for Medicaid, and money for a real border. That's not just policy. It's common sense. The left is panicking because this exposes their fear. When Americans see what good leadership looks like, they'll stop listening to excuses. Trump's bill is focused, targeted, and yes, imperfect, but it's a massive step in the right direction. The real test now is in the Senate, and Republican senators need to remember who put them there. If they cave to media pressure or Wall Street whining, they'll be turning their backs on the people who want a better country, not just for themselves, but for their kids. We're not a democracy. We are a constitutional republic. And in a republic, leaders are supposed to fight for their citizens, not for donor class interests, not for activists in New York or bureaucrats in D.C., for Americans. This bill is big, it's bold, and it's the start of something we haven't seen in a long time. Governance that actually puts the people first. It's huge. Again, guys, I'm Tom. This is the Daily Beltway. God bless.